If you're dealing with anxiety and negative thoughts, here is a little tip that can help you change your mindset. I'm Ann, I'm a clinical psychologist, and in this channel I help people bring out the best in themselves and find their confidence and be the best parents they can be. If you're dealing with anxiety or negative thoughts, many times one belief or thought that you have in your mind is, I don't have the resources to deal with this situation. And this thought can make matters worse because when you feel like you don't have the power to deal with what you're going through, then you feel like you can't handle it. And then there are more negative thoughts, and it's a cycle of anxiety and negative thoughts. But if you feel like you're able to handle what you're going through and you have the capacity to do it, then you're going to be much more resilient and feel less anxiety. For example, people are afraid to get into a new relationship because they feel like they won't be able to deal with a breakup if that happens, and they won't have the capacity to deal with the pain and the disappointment. And some people are afraid to get into a new business because they feel like they will not have the capacity to deal with failure if it happens. But this is our mind's way to keep us safe and to avoid situations that are too hard or challenging. But if we look at the situation from an objective point of view, we can see that it's not really true that we don't have the capacity or the resources to deal with challenges. Because if you look back on your life, you will see that there were many situations that were hard and that eventually you had the capacity to deal with, and you were able to go through it and sometimes even grow from it. Most of the situations that we deal with day to day are not situations that we cannot handle. Sometimes it happens to me when I'm having a particularly rough day, when I feel like I have 1,000 things to do and I feel like I'm putting down my baby to sleep for the 80th time today, and I have these thoughts that I can't do it anymore and it's too much and I can't handle it and it's never going to end. But when I look at the situation from an objective point of view, I remind myself that I can handle the situation and it will last maybe 20 more minutes until she falls asleep. And I do have the capacity to go through this day. Another thing that can help you feel like you do have the resources is to remind yourself you're not alone and you don't have to go through it alone. Many times when we find things too hard to handle is because we think we have to handle it ourselves with no help whatsoever. I had a client who had anxiety from academic performance and from exams. And whenever he fell into this cycle of anxiety, he didn't reach out for help. He thought he had to do everything by himself, even though he could reach out for help from his family or from his friends, but he wouldn't do it, and things would get worse until he finally called someone, and that really helped him to handle the situation. Remind yourself that if anything difficult happens, you're not alone and you can reach out for help. Make a list of all the people you could call if you find yourself in a difficult situation, and that can even be professionals like therapists or even a house cleaner if you just are too preoccupied with what you're going through and you just need someone to come and clean your house. I really hope it helped, and if you like this video, if you found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe and push the like button.